What's happening, everybody? Episode 2, Work With Me. But today, I'm making this episode on a request. So I'm like, okay, y'all starting to ask me to make videos and stuff. That's cool. Make me happy. Let me know, what I'm saying is, worth something and things like that. But just wanted to give a special shout out to the requester. His name is Perfect Fifth, producer that I met, on TikTok. And he just turned 18 yesterday. So make sure y'all go ahead, drop, happy birthday and things like that to him in the comments. And yeah, we just going to get straight into it. So, um, the subject of this video pretty much is how do you get into making like orchestral music in that orchestral realm? Like most people think of it like, movie music, video game music, all sorts of stuff. So I just wanted to put it out there full stop. I didn't go to school for this. Um, I just got a strong background in music. I've been playing the piano since I was 8 years old. I took piano lessons from like 8 to 18 and just continued on to it. I went to college briefly for music before I dropped out, but up there, I was playing with like duets and stuff like that because I was going up there with a focus in piano. So but film scoring and orchestration and things like that, I didn't specifically go to school for. Um, but I found that getting into this music, the biggest thing that helped me was learning the instrument families. So it's four instrument families within the orchestra. You got the strings, you got the brass, you got woodwinds, and you got percussion. Today we only focusing on the string family of the orchestra, right? So pretty much, we got the violin, right? The violin is the smallest and the highest pitch within the string family, right? Is usually the lead instrument. Um, you usually will associate that with the melody, right? You can also use it as a solo instrument, just like all these other ones, but we mainly working on them together, right? The viola is a little bigger than the violin. It has like a deeper tone, like it's warm, you know. You'll understand it like once you really hear it like by itself. It helps with like supporting the main melody. That's usually played by the violins. You got the cello. That's bigger than the violin and the viola. You'll see people playing that like sitting down. Um, it helps reinforce the melody. So you know adding like more body to the song, right? To the music. And the double bass is like the biggest of the string family within that string family. It pretty much reinforces like the overall uh the overall body of the song. It'll usually play the root of the chord, but of course, it's no rules to this stuff. I'm just saying the most basic definitions and things like that. It is you'll find it being played within classical music and jazz and rock and all sorts of stuff. But pretty much the string family is very like uh it's very versatile. You can do a lot with it and things like that. So I would say um you'll have a easier time understanding the you know the whole orchestration piece, especially like doing it from a computer. when you start understanding like how these virtual instruments will work in a real life setting, because these instruments are modeled after, real instruments. Some of these libraries and plugins are sampled from real players and things like that. So if you just start studying the different families, I like to start with the string family, because who doesn't like strings, right? Um, then you'll just have an easier time and it'll just start clicking with you. Now, getting into the making it part, making the music, right? So what I have here is, sorry, my piano timed out on me. So what I have here is a little template that I made. Pretty much I put it together with people that might not have, the paid libraries and stuff in mind. So I have BBC Symphony Orchestra, the free version, right, by Spitfire, and it's completely free. You can go and download it. Spitfire, feel free to sponsor me if you if you feeling generous. Send me a couple plugins and stuff to try out. But I have it ordered in how normal, you know, how like it would normally order that. Don't worry about the piano, but normally order within the string family. Like when it comes to actually getting into creating. So we got violins 1, violins 2. So that pretty much means it's like two groups of players playing the same instrument, but you know, they both supporting each other. You know what I mean? So you'll find like they might play the same exact notes, or violins 1 would take care of the melody, violins 2 will you probably will harmonize, and everything else will do its thing. But I don't want to throw too much at the people that's like really just getting into this stuff. So yeah, let's just get started. So I have a piano at the top because what I typically like to do is create what's called a piano sketch and come up with a chord progression. So pretty much, yeah, I'll show you better than I can tell you. So yeah, I like that speed, and I had the piano up here, so I'm gonna just come up with a little something real quick. Okay. All right. Okay. You know, keeping it simple. So the tempo, the tempo and the chords is what's really going to like help you get a little momentum, right? So now what we do is, and I'm gonna just go ahead and quantize this, just for the sake of keeping it simple. Okay. Uh-oh. That's what happens when everything automated, man. We think it's gonna come out perfect all the time, but no, it won't. Let's see. Put it. We're gonna do it just like that. There we go. That way. Okay. Okay, something slight, nothing too crazy, So we got the basis of our little chord progression down. So, obviously it's not gonna be a full on song. But yeah. So we got the violins, right? So we gonna get started with that. So so we just gonna do it like that. Um, Sometimes I actually like to play along with my sketch just to kind of keep it reinforced, like just to remember, honestly. So, so we got okay. I guess we just doing whatever we want today, huh? FL Studio. That's how you feeling? It's like, I don't like that. All right. So we got the first melody down, right? So got our little thing going on. Let's see. Okay. So now we're gonna get into the violins too. So let's see. I could layer, but I don't know, man. I'm feeling some harmony, man. Let's see. Let's do it. everything ain't gonna be perfect. You see, trial and error, man. That's really what a lot of this stuff is. Let's see. Let's see. You see, it's just experimentation, man. Like the biggest thing that helps me is look at this as if it's normal music production. You know, you just gotta just experiment, man. You know the rules and then experiment. I'm always learning. Let's see. So now we're gonna get into laying down another melody. Let's see. So this is where my violin is. That's the ghost notes. So we got. Got a little bit of harmony up in there. That F ain't sound good though. Let's see where we at. So where we at? We'll notice this a G. Yeah, I meant to do an E. Now let's just hear how it sound all together. I think I'm gonna take it up there. Cause see, the thing with violins 1 and violins 2, it's like okay, it concept wise, it sounds like okay, violins 1 you play the highest, violins 2 you play lower than violins 1. No, cause they both violins. They got the same, the same range and things like that. Whoa. Even I make mistakes. See, that's the thing, man. I need some new glasses. I think I'm gonna take that up to this E. I said E. Alright. And we ain't gonna worry about like mixing and all that stuff too much just yet. We just trying to lay it all down. Yep, think I heard something I like. I'm just going up and down that scale. You know, just got a little. So, just to break it on down, right? So we got the piano, just got the piano sketch for our foundation, just so we can take and pull stuff, right? We got the melody, harmonization to the melody, counter melody, and then we just working our way down, you know? Let's see. Shelly, that's my favorite little part. Sometimes I don't know. I'm still learning, like I always say, because I've been into this kind of music for like 5 years now, something like that, 4 or 5 years. But you know, okay. Let's see what we got. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah. See, I'm trying not to overthink it because I know I'm doing a tutorial or a lesson or I'm trying not to get too wrapped up in creating and more so just showing you. But if it don't sound good, I ain't just gonna let that ride. Let's see. 4, 3, 2. We got our Lord, another melody. Like each of these instruments, you can think of them as they work together. They work together, but then they in their own little lane. You know what I'm saying? They they work together to make that one cohesive sound, but you still gotta let them do their thing on their own, type of thing. You know, had to get my close up in, man, so y'all can see how serious I am. And just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna probably keep it simple with the bass. So. And this is another thing that I really like about this plugin is I like that it shows you how the orchestra is laid out. You know what I mean? You got the piano, you got the cello, violas, violins 2, right? Violins 1, and we got the basses, which is what we on. Got the percussion, we got horns and flutes, the woodwinds. It's cool. I really like that. So let's see. All right. Let's do it. So now we just going. Okay. Right. And then, for my FL Studio users, right? We're going to split by channel and have it all laid out for you. Just like that. Let's see. Okay. And of course, we're going to go ahead and quick quantize them start times. Okay. So we got the piano sketch, and we got the violins and the string family just working together right over here, and that's how we gonna do it. So we went from this just like that. That little 30-second piano sketch turned into that. A big piece of music, man. So yeah. So it's many other concepts that I could cover just off of strings alone. Main thing being making the strings sound a lot more realistic. But that's going to have to be another video. Y'all just got to comment below. Hey, Coy, you said something about making your strings sound a little more realistic. How can I do that? Comment below. I got you, So, but yeah, I hope this helped out a lot. It's just something I enjoy doing outside of my main, music, which is like rap and hip hop. it's really fun, and it's really it really opens up your brain a lot more and challenges you, a lot more. Like you gotta kind of be a little more, you know, not particular, but just you have to have a deep understanding of how these instruments just work, whether it's from the range and how the players will actually play, because it's one thing to just, press the keys and play, but now you also have to program them and things like that to make them sound like, sound realistic, So, yeah, so just let me know, if y'all have any questions or anything like that, any comments or any feedback, It might be some master composers that come across this video and be like, okay, I like what he doing, but let me give him this tip. I'm open to that too, because like I said, I'm always learning. I'm still learning. And, I'll forever be learning. So, but yeah, y'all take it easy. Have a good one. Perfect fifth. I hope this helped you out, buddy. Like I said again, have a good birthday. And, much love to y'all and your family. So, peace.